everybody, this is Marcus again, and today we're going to go through something that we haven't done before actually on this channel, and that is we're going to completely complete in one video an entire project, and it's going to be a software engineering project, and it's going to be a very simple one, but it's going to be useful. So one thing that I was realizing in creating lesson 16 here for Java GameFrame tutorial series, which will come out soon. One thing I was realizing, lesson 16 is an organizational episode, so it's one where we are going to be actually implementing Java packages, and we're going to be organizing things in sort of a Gradle fashion. One thing I was realizing is it's really annoying to fix all the import problems we had when we are converting an entire folder full of these individual Java files into packages. So if you don't know what packages are in Java, they're essentially like, instead of just having a game file, you would have com, and then inside that you'd have a folder called marcusman, and inside that you'd have your game file. And then instead of game object, you might have that in a separate package called utils. It keeps things more organized. But the problem is, whenever you change this now, all of these files that are sitting in this folder are, they might need each other in certain cases, but they won't actually, they'll have to import each other, which is sort of a problem. So what we're going to be making is a program that, if you give it a file exactly like this, it will both put the files in the package they're supposed to go, and then fix all of the imports. It'll figure out what that file needs that's inside this package, whether it needs game or game object. It'll do its best job at trying to guess it, and it will it'll add to the top, if it needs GUI button, it'll add import com.marcusman.graphics.interface.gui button, and instead of interface, this has to actually be GUI, I think, because interface is a keyword in Java. So let me fix that real quick. Do I have interface somewhere else? Yep, down here. Yeah, so anyway, that's what I was going to do. So we're going to go through the whole software engineering process. It's going to be an open source project that anybody can use. So, I'm just taking my drink here. So I'm going to do this on GitHub, because GitHub's cool. Really good for open source stuff. We're going to create a new repository, and we're just going to call it Packageify. That was the idea. I just randomly created it. And by the way, I'm making this. I don't have like notes or anything. I'm making this on the fly, so you have to bear with me. So what are we going to do here? We'll what do we call it? Or what will our description be? Inserts files into package directories, Java package directories, and that's good, package directories, and adds imports for any requirements, adds imports for package-ified files that package-ified files that were previously all in the same package. So that's going to be my really bad explanation for now. And then our get ignore, we're going to make it a Gradle get ignore, and then also a, we have both? Just one or the other, okay. Well, Gradle right now, and then license. We're going to use Gradle for this, which is a sort of a packaging software. License, I think public license. Let's see, open source licenses. I've never really delved too into this. I'm just going to go ahead and make it Apache. I think that's the one that I've used before. Apache License 2.0. Actually, there's a site. Oh. Okay, well, you know what? We'll do MIT. We'll do MIT. It's fine. MIT. Or this one. I'll do MIT. MIT's fine. We'll initialize it with readme, and then create it. Alright, so the get ignore, we have to readme. if we open up the gitignore, it's going to have all the Java or the Gradle stuff in here. Also, what I want to do is get Java gitignore, and we're going to move all this stuff in here as well. So let me edit this. Add Java stuff to gitignore. So we're also going to be using some Git in this, not just on GitHub. I'm not going to make this whole thing on GitHub. So you'll get maybe a little bit of a tutorial on that as well. I'm not going to be focusing too much like I do on my Java game programming tutorials. I'm not going to be focusing too much on every little thing I do. So if you wanted that, that's sort of for another video maybe. But if you like, I always respond to comments. So if you have a question about anything I do, I can either help you or maybe send you a resource that will help you. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and go. I'm just going to go back here. I'm creating a new folder for this. You know what? I'll create this. I'll make this a Git. It's nice to have a Git folder because actually, when you type in a git clone command, like copying this link, it'll create a folder for you. So if we do git clone and then that link, oops. So it creates a folder. So inside this folder, we are going to type in our Gradle commands. So I'll put in the description how you can install Gradle as well. If I don't remember, somebody tell me. Also, you can just Google how to install Gradle. But Gradle is the package software we're going to use. And we're going to, actually I messed up. Gradle init type Java application. Is that what it is? Gradle Java application. I'm going to go ahead and do git checkout dot to move all of my changes here. Is it git checkout start? How do I get rid of it? Bulldog Gradle, what are the files we added? Gradle, Bulldog Gradle. Settings like Gradle. Probably Gradle and that. That's it. Okay, so now we've cleaned it up. What is it? What's the Gradle? Gradle init Java command. I'm doing a lot of Googling, live Googling in this one as well. It's sort of just walking you through how I might create a open source application. Yeah, so I did it right. It's Gradle init type and then Java dash application. Okay. So now it's going to create our Gradle stuff here. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of our test here, and then rename this to Packageify. Make it public class Packageify, or just package like that. Packageify, one word maybe. Right now it's gonna have just this. It's gonna say hello world. We're gonna go to settings.gradle, and actually we're gonna make this one more thing I'm gonna do. Let's put this into a package called com. And then Marcusman. So it's going to be under com.marcusman.package-ify. Actually, we'll put a package-ify folder in there as well, and then we'll have it called main. Maybe that'll work. I don't know what I want. What do I want to do here? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. So we'll have a package-ify folder. And we'll move this in here, call it Packageify. Alright, so now what we need to do is actually copy this whole thing into, and I'm going fast here because, as I said, I'm not stopping to explain things as much as I normally do. I'm going to move it over here. Oh, actually, yeah. Build.gradle. Bottom here, main class. So anyway, with Gradle, if we type in Gradle build, and I'll be going over Gradle in the next tutorial, so don't worry too much about making sure you totally understand this right now. Where's that? Okay, new Packageify. And then Gradle will run. Right now it's just do hello world. Or did I miss something? Com.marcusman. Package-ified. I couldn't find that main class. Oh! Yeah, sorry. That's what it is. Because the class, you keep the class name at the end. Wow, that's a stupid mistake. So if we do Gradle build, then Gradle run, just say hello world. Alright, so now we need to actually make it our own thing, so let's get rid of this get greeting. I'm going to add some JavaDoc stuff up here as well. So it's going to be package-ified, which just puts files that were originally all in the same folder in organized packages based on input information. And we'll go maybe more in detail here soon, but put my name down for the author, version 1.0. That's about all we need, I think. The rest of it, there's a bunch of other tags you can use, but that's fine for now. And I'm going to go more in detail on how to actually run the program once we've actually done that. So what I'm going to do is just new Packageify, and then I'm going to pass in the args. We're only going to use main to start the program. So I'm going to pretty much do most of my work here in the constructor. Well, I mean, not really in the constructor. I'm going to use like methods and stuff, but let's see, what do I do here? So to sort of to call the program, to actually use the program, I guess, to use the program, you would have Java, you call Java Packageify, or, you know what I'll do, I'll just do program arguments. The program arguments are as follows. You need file to, I guess, path to, what am I doing? Why is it like that? Path to folder with Java files, and then package definition txt file, and then output folder. So that would be like an example of I guess what I should do is use an example of what we have here, the packages. So example of package definition file. And we'll just go ahead and do this quick. Messed up. Oh, that's happening. Look at the same spot. Let's zoom in. I'm control clicking to like do something on every line here. So I'm doing the same thing. I guess occasionally I click the there we go. So that's cool. And then add that to the beginning. There's probably a better way to do that, but I don't know the shortcut. So that's an example of a package definition file. Maybe will help. And if you want to see how this all looks, we could do build, Gradle JavaDoc. will actually create a Java doc for us, and that will be under, where was I? That will be under build, and then, not libs, but docs, and then Java doc, and then index. We're going to open in our web browser. And then we just have Packageify. Like a new line. Character, going to use Java doc new line. Okay, so I just want, we'll do that. And afterwards we do that'll work. And then not there, but here we'll do it. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll build it again and see how that looks. Aha, there we go. So now it's gonna put everything on a new line when we have it. Okay, cool. Is that the author and stuff on here as well? Maybe I have to put that up here now. Not sure. Where does it normally put the author? I don't actually know. I don't use JavaDoc that often. Oh, okay, it can't be up there. Has to be at the bottom. Now everything else is gone. Is my name even on this page? Oh yeah, it is. Oh, whatever. JavaDoc. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's just do a JavaDoc examples. Maybe it's the pre that's messing up. No? Let's send it. You know what? Yeah, we're not gonna worry about that too much right now. It's not that important. What we are gonna worry about is actually make the program. So, we are expecting 3 arguments here. So that's the first thing we're gonna check. We're going to do if args.length is less than 3. We're gonna go ahead and print an error. It's also I think it's a Java invalid argument exception. We're going to throw that as well, so we're going to go ahead and do so. Found the print line. Expected 3 arguments received. We'll do expected at least 3 arguments. And then received, and then args.length. And then this is actually going to be part of an exception. We're going to, instead of printing line, we're going to throw new illegal argument exception with this message. And then we have to add throws illegal argument exception. We also need to import it. Actually, no, we don't. It's part of the Lang library. So if we try to run this now, it's going to say illegal argument exception. It says expected at least 3 arguments and received 0, and I have to figure out greater arguments. I'll just type them in here. See if it says received 1 now. option arguments is tasks. Hmm. Looks like dash p test. Not sure. Gradle Java arguments. Yes, I'm going to go back Gradle and add in the run. Okay, it'll work. If this does work, that'll be cool. So now we can type in Gradle run like that. Whoa. Seems to not work. Okay, let's just go with this thing. Maybe this will work. arg1. Let's test. Let's say, okay. So this is 0. Gradle Java runtime arguments. Let's try a different Google search. Okay, we might as well just do that actually. If we just add our arguments here, like he says there, it makes it so we don't have to enter it every time. So if we do Gradle run, it should say one argument. Receive one, yes. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do is make it so that we give it a folder. Let's put our arguments in here. If we did build like Gradle, if we did test 1, test 2, just test 1, test 2, it should say 2 when I run this now. No? Receive 1. Okay, maybe I need to separate it like this then. No? Maybe with a comma? Hey, okay, I figured it out. So it says 2 now. So the 3 arguments we need is path to folder with all the Java files. So let's do that first. That would be under Packageify. Where do I have it? It's back here, less than 16 workspace. So we're going to go ahead and pass in this folder as the path to folder with all of the Java files. The package definition txt file, which is here, packages.txt. And then finally, what's that final parameter? Output folder. So, workspace package-ified, I guess. It's not the greatest, but it'll work. That's our final parameter, and then we'll have 3 parameters. So if we do greater run, we shouldn't get any errors. What? Oh, it doesn't like the slashes. Okay. Let's place the slashes with the other type of slash. Oops. Yeah. We want to place it with the /. And that should work. Cool. So now what we're going to do is work on the program. So we've checked to make sure we have enough arguments. Now we're going to validate. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put these arguments into variables first to make things easier for us. So our first variable is going to be input folder, and it's going to be a file. So input folder equals new file args0, and then we have private file definition file. So we'll make definition file equal to new file args1. And we will make output folder equal to another file, output folder, new file args2. And we have to validate all of these. So now we're going to make a method called validate files. So let's go ahead, before we get any further, make some Javadoc comments here. So this first one, package-ify has the given directory with the description given above. So we're going to have this args param, and then for this param we have args0 equals input folder, args1 equals definition file, and then args2 equals output folder. So that'll work, and then validate files will be private void validate files. We don't need any Java.comments comments for this. This is private, right? Java.private. Even when it's in a set. Okay, well, this will do it then. This is right, it's better to just document everything. So validate that all 3 files and directories, input folder, definition file, and output file exist. Accessible, I guess. So we need to throw an exception here. If not, and it'd be another illegal argument exception because this would draw back to the arguments. So first things first, we're going to check the input folder. So if input folder dot exists, so if the input folder does not exist, we're going to throw new illegal argument exception input folder does not exist. Actually, I'm going to change the writing for this one. Keep my exceptions the same. Input folder does not exist. If it does, we're down here now. If input folder, we're going to make sure it contains some files. So Java file list files. Let's see. I think it's in here, right? List files. I want to do one thing. I'll do is directory. Yeah, that's another thing. So we want the input folder to actually be a folder. So if input folder dot is directory, if it's not a directory, we want to throw a legal argument exception. Input folder is not a directory. And now we can get files, or list files. So do a file array, we'll do input folder dot list files dot length. So if it's 0, which means there's no files, so if input files list file dot length equals 0, throw new illegal argument exception, input folder contains no files. Cool. So that's all we need. Another thing I want to do actually is to check if input folder, that's not all we need, I'm not sure what I'm saying. Input folder has Java files, so I'm going to do this as well. I'm actually going to do up here. Array, so I'm going to import java.io.file. Files equals input folder dot list files, and we're going to do files dot length is equals 0, and then we're going to do some files dot length 5++. I'm going to do if files I dot get name. Yep. That ends with .java. Found Java is true. We get down here, and found Java is still false. I'm going to throw new illegal argument exception. Input folder does not contain any Java files. Right, because right now we're expecting everything's going to be in the same folder. Alright, so now what we're going to do is load in this definition file. See if that exists. So if definition file that exists does not exist in this case, except the exclamation point, throw new illegal argument exception definition package definition file does not exist. And that's the only thing we're going to throw here, I think. The only error we're going to check for the definition file. Output folder, we're going to do if, well actually what we're going to do is just output folder.mkdears. Right, so it's going to mkdears is going to creates a directory named by this abstract path and including any necessary but non-existent parent directories. And that will throw an error if that doesn't work. What we're going to do is a Gradle build to see if we have any errors so far. No, cool. Alright. So that is our validate files. It's going to validate that our inputs exist. So if we do Gradle run, we shouldn't get any errors right now. Cool, but if we had like nothing in this file, if I just remove everything and put it into a test file, test folder, and then Gradle run. Yeah, input folder contains no files. Great. That's what I want. So that's just an example of an error we can receive. And we can make unit tests for all those errors. In fact, we should probably, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do unit tests for this, really. And as you can see, it did create the Packageify folder for the output folder, which is what we wanted. So that's all done. So validate arguments and create output. And now start enumerate files, I guess. I'm not sure. We're not going to make a comment yet before we make the actual code. So now what we want to do is actually go through the file array for all the files inside of input folder and sort of attach them to the packages file and the packages we see in there. Alright, so the first step of the program is to essentially move all the classes into these folders. So we'll do that first. And I think the best way to do this is to go line by line through the packages.txt file first. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to create a structure quick inside of there's get Packageify source main java .marcusman Packageify. I'm going to create a structure here called packaged file .java packaged file. It's just going to be a struct, so I'm not going to actually have too much logic in here. Maybe a constructor. I'm going to have public string class name, public string package. Right, I'm not going to make any getters and setters because I don't really need them. I can just have direct access to them, I don't really care. Class name and string package, string class name. This dot package equals package, this dot class name equals class name. And we do have to make the Java doc stuff as well. We have to have the package definitions with package com.marcusman package-ified, and then dot, that's it. Get rid of this, and struct that represents a packaged file. Alright, so, first things first, actually, I forgot to actually push anything in the repo so far. So we're going to add all the Gradle stuff first here. So there's that Gradle, Gradle start. I thought some of this stuff was ignored. Yeah. Oh, like the dot Gradle is, okay. And then build. Yeah, okay. That's fine. So this is all the Gradle stuff. We're going to go ahead and commit this saying Gradle init. And then git push origin master. So this is going to push everything to master. And if I go back to Packageify, it should all be in here now. The only thing missing now is our everything else. So now we have these two new files. I'm going to go ahead and actually git reset head. I'm just going to push up this new class, which is just going to check, validate arguments and stuff and such first. So add check for all arguments. File and add checks for arguments. That should work. So we're going to go ahead and write that, and then once again push that to master. So now we have this Packageify file inside of our GitHub repository. Pretty cool. Alright. And actually if I do Gradle Java doc again and open up my browser, you should see, oh, the problem here. Oh, package is a keyword. Yeah. I guess I can't use package at all, so we'll make it path. What I want to do is actually down here I want to have create a packaged file with given path and class name. And at param path of full package path of class name of class. That's all we need. Make sure all of my periods at the end of my full sentences that are actual sentences. Okay, now we can do greater Java doc. Now I have both of my files in here. That Packageify and then packaged file here. As you can see, it gives you actually a tree as well. You know, this is only inheriting the java.lang.object. So, yep, that's pretty cool. All right, let's get moving here with the functionality. So now we are going to loop through all of our inputs, all of the file and all the lines in the definition file. So we're going to use a scanner to do that, which is a util. So we're just going to fill in another field, which is going to be an array list of packaged files. Array list packaged file. So that's another util. We want to have a private. Oh no, here we go. So we're just going to create packaged files list. I make my methods very might have a long name, but also detailed name. So this is just going to initialize or fill in our packaged files array list. I'm actually going to make it initialize it as well, and fill in our packaged files array list with the lines information provided in the individual lines of the definition file. There we go. So I'm not going to initialize it up here just in case I call this method 2 times. And that just makes more sense this way. Packaged files equals new array list. So if we were calling this, like, object-oriented wise, if we were calling this method again, it would replace anything we had here, because maybe we want to create the packaged files again at some point. I don't know. It's just logically this works out better. And then the previous thing that was held here would just be stage for garbage collection. So we're creating the array list, and then we're going to scan through the file. So scanner equals new scanner. And what I like to do with scanners is they can throw, let's see, what exceptions they throw. I will figure it out when we build it. There's a few different exceptions they can throw, and what I'd like to do actually is catch it and throw a different exception that is going to say there was an error reading a specific file. But we'll see what it throws. Scanner equals new scanner, and we want to scan the definition file. Yeah, that's fine. Scanner's fine. And then we're just going to do while scanner dot has next line. String line equals scanner dot get line, and then we're going to actually make this an array. So string line equals scanner dot get line. Actually, no, we'll make it. Yeah. So if line dot contains, it does not contain that, which is splitting the name and the. So what I want to do is, if they have like an empty line, I don't want to yell at them for that. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to do if line dot length equals 0. I'm just going to continue. But if the line is not of length 0, which means it can't be negative, so it has to be greater than 0. If it does not contain a semicolon, then that's an issue because that means something's missing. You don't have the package definition. So we're just going to yell them and say throw new. Well, what kind of exception would this be? Java file exceptions. Let's see if there's a list here. Null pointer exception. What else I found? IO exception. Maybe an IO exception. Yeah, we'll do that. Import java.io.io exception. IO exception. With our message here, which is going to be. Let me make sure you can have a message. This one. Sometimes there are some exceptions. Maybe all Java exceptions you can. I don't know. Throw new IO exception with the message expected semicolon. I'm going to make this throws IO exception. Expected semicolon in line. And we'll put it out. Like that. There we go. So yeah, that is that. So those are some things we're checking for each line. And if we've gotten past this point, then it contains a semicolon, so we can go ahead and split it. So it could be line.split. We can split it around that semicolon. And now we need to check for two things. This is string array. If split line dot length is I don't know if it'd be less than. Would it be ever less than? Yeah, it could be, I guess. I don't know. Could it ever be less than? I think it would just put the empty. If it was like a semicolon at the end of the line and you split it by a semicolon, it would put the empty string. But I'm not entirely sure. Let me go ahead and look at the split for string. Still see. Split. Like what I'm saying is, if I had a semicolon at the end of the line, would it put the whole line then empty string in this array, or would it put just one thing in the array? So this method works by invoking a trailing empty strings are therefore not included. Okay, that's important. So I do need this check. So split string.length is less than 2. Split line.length. Throw new IO exception. Expected 2 strings for line. Strings around semicolon for line. And then if split line 0 dot length equals 0, or split line 1 dot length equals 0. Length is a method for a string. Throw new IO exception. And it'll be the same thing, really. Although that couldn't happen, right? Because it's saying if there's an empty string, it wouldn't be included. I think. Because it's trailing. So what if you had, like, this one was empty? So this one couldn't happen, but we're going to keep it in just in case. I don't know, we're just going to keep that in. This could happen because what if you had, like, 3 semicolons in a row? Then I'm pretty sure there'd be empty strings in the middle of here, but saying trailing empty strings wouldn't be included, so, yeah, we'll keep that in there. And if we've gotten to this point, then, we're doing pretty good. So we can go ahead and package files. From what I understand, anyway, it might be another test I'm missing, but we can get back to that later, maybe. Packaged files.add and then new packaged file with our two parameters, which are the path and the class names. The path is put under the second one, actually the split line 1, and the class name is put under split line 0, like that. So, yep, we've added that. So now if we just want to make sure, we can add a toString method here. Plus name plus name plus package do /t package. It's like a tab, by the way. Package name. What is package? And we can do maybe 3 tabs. Why not? Plus any errors here? Nope. Get line. Next line, not get line. Gotta do that. That's next line. Yeah, so now it's saying there's an IO exception here. So we're just going to add this up here because this is something we want to alert the yeah, so we need to move that all the way back up to main now. Just make throws exception. Yeah, do that. I don't think that's a big no-no because I'm throwing the exceptions myself. I want the user to receive those exceptions. I don't want to cache them. Alright, the only exception might be the scanner. But I think, I think it does say there was just an error reading the file, which is exactly what I want anyway, so. Cool. Create packaged files list. We've done that now. So now what I want to do is just go ahead and packaged files. I'm going to go ahead and print those out. Just because I want to. And we'll actually do for packaged file, packaged files, out.print line, just a quick for each. Alright, so seems alright. I'm not sure how I would line those up correctly. Instead of just like typing in 3 tabs. Let's see. Just gonna address it. I'm no longer interested. It doesn't really matter. We'll just do this. So it doesn't even look like we're trying to align it. It's fine. It could be better, but I'm not going to worry about it just too much right now, really. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But there we have it. So it is getting the class name and the package setup. So now we're going to just go ahead and put those into folders. We're going to test that first. I think there's a step I want to do in between. I guess we can. It doesn't really matter the order, but we're gonna go ahead and this is easier. We're gonna go ahead and put these into folders. So, put files into folders. Package folders. That'll work. Alright, so private void put files into package folders. Copies all of the Java files in the input directory into the output directory. Into the package directories. So that's going to put them into, yeah, okay. So now what we can do is, it's going to be for every file in the packaged files array list. So let's grab that off of the array list. And we are going to copy it over to its correct location. And we're also going to put the package definition at the top of the file. So, what's the package definition at the top of the file? Okay. So, cool. What was I doing? Oh yeah, so now I need to figure out how to copy the file over first. So the Java copy file, so Google that. So we want the NIO version of the file. Oh, it's all static. Okay. So we want that so we have path source and path target. I guess we can use that one. Any copy options? Yeah. We'll go with this now. So first of all, we want to create the file and create the directories that we need. So in package file, maybe we can make a method that will return public string package to directories. So this will returns the package path in directory. So we have that return. Here's an example. So we're essentially going to take our path here, and I guess we'll throw an exception again. be another IO exception because it's being read from that file. Although, I guess in this case it's a format exception or something? Is there a format exception? We can make a format exception. There isn't a legal format exception. Okay. Throws. It's a java.util thing. Yeah, okay. So if path dot length is equal to 0, we're going to throw new legal format exception. Path for but what if we actually that could be that's I guess that's alright, right? If you don't want it to even be in the package. So I guess you could do if path dot length equals 0, then just return null, in which case you're not supposed to put a package definition down. Return or null if or null if the package is empty. Otherwise, if path.length is greater than 0, in which case it would be down here, we're going to do path.contains. It doesn't have to contain a dot. Yeah, I guess, you know what, we're good. We don't need any of this legal format exception stuff, from what I can see. So we're going to do string array split path equals path.split period. String output path. I'm going to do for the output path equals split path 0, right? We know that it has to have at least one string in there. And then for int I equals 1, I is less than split path dot length plus plus. If we have more stuff on there, we're going to go ahead and add out to the output path the slash and then split path of I. That should work. So that will, if we had like, I'm just going to go ahead and okay, line packaged file dot package to directories directory. We'll make it directory. This is compile. Not that way. The method. Missing returns. Oh yeah, you actually return the output path. Okay, let's give it a run. We're in this at the boundary exception. Oh. So maybe we can do this. If path dot contains dot and if it doesn't, if it doesn't, we just return path. Yeah, this is true. Okay, something's wrong there. Let's do this. Let's do system. So I can see what's going on there. Oh, you do escape the dot. That's right. I almost forgot about that. Yes, we need to do that. There we go. Although now it is. What is it doing? Should be printing the directory. Oh. Just one. Okay, you can escape the dot. Oh. Hmm. Figured it out. Okay. So that's what we want. Although we don't actually want the okay, so this is what we need to change about our package definition. We don't want the class name at the end of this, so I'm just going to make that a yeah, no, remove all the class names at the end of this. So essentially, it's the class name and then the package is going to go into. So the class name doesn't change. So now we need to go to our Packageify and remove that from the Java docs away. There we go. There we go. So now what we're going to do, now that we've got the package2 directory, is in our, right here, instead of printing it, we're going to do file containing folder equals our output folder plus this. There's going to slash plus that. And it's going to be, that should work from what I know. But just in case we need to system, print line containing folder dot get absolute. I'm going to pick that up. string. Yep, that looks good. Cool. This toString like by default will give the absolute path. Well, maybe I should just do that. You know what? Let's do that, just in case that does change. Okay. Make it entirely specific on what I'm trying to do there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is containing folder.mkdirs to create all the directories for that folder. And then essentially copy the files over by using that file copy. So we need two paths here. Does file return a path with the absolute path? No, it returns a string. But maybe we can convert that to a path. Let's see, what are the constructors for paths? So I haven't made them all, I just realized. Actually, I just realized I can also split between the modules like that. That's pretty cool, right? You're gonna see my open broadcast for that right there. So this is our path constructor. Is there a constructor? Path versus path is oh, it's an interface. Passing this file extend path. No. Yeah. So maybe it's like a get input stream. You can use as well. So now I can use an input stream as an input as well. Two path. Oh, there. Cool. That'll work. So now we need to file output class file equals new file. We need containing folder dot get absolute path plus slash plus package file dot class name. Not a method. There's something right there. Another thing I want to do is make sure the input file exists. So input class file equals new file, and then we want input folder dot get absolute path plus slash plus packaged file dot class name. And if input class file dot exists does not exist in this case, we want to the IO exception. It says file class name does not exist in exist at. Do that. There we go. File animated sprite does not exist at we need to add Java at the end of that. We'll just do that. Yeah. Cool. So let's see. What can we add to Git here? what have we done? We have, I've added a lot to this commit, but I'm not going into like a review process where I need to be very, I need to keep my commits small, so I don't really mind. If I had somebody reviewing this code, I'd want to keep my commits small, so that they could go by commit and use the logs and stuff to figure it all out. I guess we could say we've created. It's hard now because I've done so much, right? That's the problem. I need to be more careful next time. I'm also, you know what? I'm not going to commit yet. So I'm also not actually done with this method. I want to get this one done first. So yeah, let's not worry about that right now. Not this one. This one. So we've got the output class file, and then we have the .job at the end. And we're going to copy them now. So we need to do, we're going to do java.oniota file .files .copy. And the reason why I need to do this way, actually I can support it. I thought it was the same name as the file that I already imported, but it's actually a little different. I thought it was called file, but it's called files. So we can just do files.copy the source, which is input class file dot get path. The target, which is output class file. Oh, I just realized I'm still on my other monitor. Sorry about that. Output. I probably need to get. If I'm gonna do that, I need to get used to. Actually switching them. Maybe I can switch with the cursor. That'd be cool. Let's figure that out at some point. So input class file, and then output class file, and then there are copy options as well. Copy options is like the third parameter of this. So I'll see if I can just get standard copy option dot replace existing. I guess I'll just use that one. Gradle. Yeah, so I've just put that in there. Put in the replace existing. So Gradle build. Or I guess I can just run it, because run does compile it. No scope of method found. Path. Input stream. Can I do that? Oh, I see. I don't actually need the copy options. I can get rid of that. Oh, that's about. Let's put null in there. No? I guess it was a runtime error. I'm just gonna do that. Info. Hmm. Yeah, I don't need that. Nice little hit down. This is applicable. It's a string. Wait. Is it get path? It's to path. Haha. That's it. Okay. Okay, and we're also gonna make the gonna pass in that file already exists thing. Like I had it before. Mm. Cool. So now if we go back to here and we go to workspace Packageify, look at that. They're all put into their own folders. This is what we wanted. Pretty cool. So now what we need to do is add, I just realized I was talking into my hands, so you probably didn't hear any of that. Or you heard it very quietly. But we put it into the Packageify folder. Now what we need to do is put the package definition at the top, and then we'll be done with this method. So yeah. So now we need to use probably a file writer of some kind. Or maybe there's this, I just googled it and there's like this random access file thing. Make sure it's still being used. Yeah. Instances of this class support both moving and random access file. Cool. So he's saying seek the cursor to the 0th position using seek. And then you can write a line. I mean, that's pretty easy. Let's see if it works. Easier than what I thought I'd need to do for this. Yeah, so we'll import this. And we'll go ahead and put comments here as well. So get out, define output containing folder, define input class file, define output class file. Those are both absolutely, those are all awful comments. I don't think I need those, really. I think this is the one I need it. Copy input file to output file. Copy input Java class to package. To correct package directory in output. In the output directory. Oh look. Now we're gonna do this random access file thing. So I guess we'll just do write package definition to topic file. So we're gonna do random access file raf, I guess, raf equals new random access file, and then we want to get this output class file, and then we want I guess we'd write raf dot close is going to be at the end. We want in the middle here raf dot seek 0 to get to the beginning of the file, and then raf dot write, and then we want the full package definition. So just to be sure here, what I'm going to do is do another method in packaged file That's going to public string get package definition. This is going to return the full package definition for a file. For this class, this path. For the package files path. So it's going to return. Well, actually, I'll be more specific with it, like package com.marcusman.utils with package com.marcusman.utils. Okay. So we want return, essentially, this. Right? Okay. So now what we're going to do is put it at the top of the file. So we're going to go ahead and, let's print out first, print line, packaged file dot get package definition. Nice. That's good to me. So now what we're going to do is right at the top of the file. So what exactly we're going to write is the package definition and then 2 new line characters, and that should be it. So let's give that a whirl. Just going to delete this for now. Oh, sorry. I'm going to need to do at the end here .get bytes to get the bytes of that string. Really? Oh, my bad. Yeah, the whole thing. Parentheses around the whole thing and then get bytes. Okay, so let's see. That has package com.marcusman at the top. That has package com.marcusman.logic at the top. Wait, what? Oh. This replacing. Yeah, it's replacing. We don't want to do that. Can we insert? Is there a right? Instead of right, is there like a... Okay, we can't use a random access file. I didn't think that would really work. So what we need to do instead is sort of a more tedious approach. But I think we have another option. Yeah. Okay. So instead of random access file, we need a few things. The file input string. I'm not sure what package that's in. I/O. Could have guessed that, but wasn't sure. So, I get rid of random access point. I'm gonna get rid of that. It's not gonna work. Where are we? Here. File input stream. Yes. Fizz, I guess, because can we get from the file? Or no, we just do new file input stream, and then we pass in the input class file. Or I guess it would be, in this case, the output class file. Then again, it might be easier for us to do input class file. Maybe we can combine both of the operations into one thing. I'm just experimenting with that right now. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. That would actually make this a lot easier. So we have the input class file and the output class file, and instead of copying it in this way, while putting package definition at the top of the file. Alright, this is cool. So, that's what we're going to do. We have our file input stream. We have buffered reader. Which we can put up here. Buffered reader. There's a new buffered reader. With the file input stream. Let's see. String full result equals that, and then string line is that. I don't know. I'm just kind of copying off of Stack Overflow. Read line. It's not even null. I'm gonna do. Let's make this result. Result equals result plus line. Then we will result equals, and then we want that whole thing that we did before with the packaged file. Packaged file dot. So essentially, we're putting the entire file into a string. Oops. Get package definition plus, and then 2 new line characters, and plus result. And then we gotta write this result to the new file. So we're just gonna do file output stream. This point, by the way, we can do biz.close. And we can do file output stream. Fuzz equals new file output stream. With the output file, which is output class file. Another thing we want to do real quick is import file output stream. And then fuzz.write result.getBytes, and then fuzz.flush, which is also going to close it. So, we input Java class to string, and then add package definition to beginning of file string, output file string to file. This needs to be new input stream reader, actually. Input stream reader Java. There it is. Okay, so now if we open up one of these classes, whoa. Something went wrong there. Huh. Oh, maybe that's why. ER.read line. We need a new line character because it gets rid of it when you need a new line. Yeah, that's it. That'll work. Except for that last one. We don't want the last one. To add a new line. Buffered reader. I'm confused. Yeah, we're gonna do this instead. Red character. Instead of doing it by line. That reads a single character. Int connected to the string. -1 maybe? Or -1 of the industry has been reached. Yep. Oops. I know it's an int. I get the int. This is why they read line. There's gotta be a better way to do this. File to string. I just want to get the file to a string in Java. Yeah, I'm gonna use a string builder, I think, or a, it's just, that's a buffered reader. Alright, fine. This is just, I guess I just can't read it by character. What I had before. Let's go back to what I had before. Oops. Oh no, what I have here? Oh no! I accidentally typed. I didn't mean to do that. No! It's probably input stream reader. What am I missing here? I got output stream reader, buffered reader. What am I missing? No, I got that too. What did I deleted something. I didn't mean to type. I'm sorry. Okay, at least we got this back. And we can do. I want to do this instead. I want to do. While line is not equal null. result equals result plus line. Or maybe instead of this, we should use a string builder. That way, it's not immutable. And then we just do sb.append, and then line, and then also /n, and then line equals buck, br, new line, right here. And then string builder has a prepend method, I believe. It was insert. Yeah. Insert 0. So at the very beginning, we're going to insert that. And then we're going to get result. Finally, toString dot get bytes. And we replace all the result here with sb actually. sb, sb, okay. History maybe that was what it was. Okay. Input stream reader. Cool, build successful, so let's see how that turned out. Cool, we got that at the top of the file with new lines there as well. Why is it adding 2? Cool. Alright, so that's the first part. I'm going to commit, say, we added putting the files into package folders. And then at the bottom here, which also updates also adds a package definition to the top of the file. Alright, so this is a good use of version control. Since that's all working right now, that's cool. And I can have that as I can commit that, and I can revert to it if what I'm about to do doesn't work. Because what I'm about to do now is actually go through all these files, and in game, let's say, because we have a lot of examples in game, let's say we find for every class, we find sprite sheet separated by 2 spaces here. We want to add that as an import, if we haven't already. So that'll be after the package definition that we've just added. We will add this. So that's going to be part of the same, that's actually going to be part of the same thing, same function. So we might have to rename the function as well. Although, I think it's fine. And it copies all the Java files in here. I'll make it this tense. Copy all of them. Also, but try to figure out new import locations. Also, try to add imports to other library. In the other classes that have been package-ified. If they are found to be used in this class. So, so what we need to do is we're inserting this package definition. We're actually going to make this string inserts. Because we might insert some more stuff. That's what I'm saying. So, I'm going to put that in there. And we're going to call another method here that we're going to create. So we're going to do inserts plus equals get packaged imports. And then we're going to pass in our, let's see, we'll have the name of this file. We're going to need that. So we're going to need, this is the packaged file that we're dealing with. We'll just pass that in. And then we'll have this the entire string so far. So let s be that toString. Yep. And that's it, I think. So private string get packaged imports. We have packaged file, input file, or not input file. Packaged file, and then string full file, or file string. That's it. So now we're going to put here packages, finds the usage of other packaged files in this one, and returns a string of imports if any given packaged file other than this one is in use. I think the other than this one is implied. It's also confusing in that sentence. So at return, so find. So return a string with separated imports statements. At paren packaged file, the package we are considering. Or what do I mean by considering? That we are finding the considering, I guess it's just, yeah, I'll do considering. It's fine. I can't think of anything better right now. And then file string is the input. So we are considering in string form. Okay. So now we are going to go through all the packaged files in our packaged files array. Length, size, and we'll make this instead of packaged file, make it, just file string's fine, no, just fine. That's not, we'll make it considered file. Make this, yes, we'll make it packaged file equals packaged files dot get I. I'm going to do a regex match here. So, And this is not going to be absolutely perfect. I'm not that amazing with rejexes, but it'll be alright. I think it'll be alright. The worst case is going to add an import statement that might not 100% be needed, but as long as it's adding the import statement, that's fine. What I'm saying is it's going to check for, like, if it's checking render handler, it's going to check for space, and then the render handler, like, literally exactly like this, and then a space afterwards. But if you had a string that had render handler in it, like that, and then maybe some other stuff, I'm not sure if it might be there's probably a regex match for that, but I just can't think about it right now. Because I was thinking, you know, see if there's a quote at some point before it and then a quote at some point after it, but there could be a string, you know, before this, and then a string after it, right? But this is still supposed to be considered. It'd be a really interesting regex match. I could also just go through and remove all of the strings, just for the sake of matching. That might work. So remove regex. Regex remove everything between quotes. Let's see. Alright, we're gonna try this. We're gonna do string file, yeah, let me just side of it. String without quotes equals file string. And then there's this big regex I just found on Stack Overflow. Replace all. And apparently this replaces all usages of quotes. Regex 101, let's see. So this is, yeah, so this is the regex I just entered. Without the slash n. You don't want the slash n. I'm just removing everything between these quotes. It should cover pretty much everything. In fact, more than it even needs to cover. Which is fine. Okay, so we're gonna, yeah, get the file without quotes. So in game, this would be everything except for what's in between here. Just remove this entirely. So we'll just, you know what we can do quick? Maybe to debug this, just make sure it works. We'll do if considered file dot equals, or dot class name dot equals game. We're going to system.out.print without quotes. Okay. Considered file. Single post statement. Oh yeah. So for now. Maybe I'll try different rejects. That's fine. I think it's a try because I think there's something wrong with what was typed in here. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I create a new file. That's the first use of string. Tiles equals new file. Tiles. Yes, okay, so it gets rid of it entirely, which is exactly what I want. It doesn't actually, this isn't going to be what's outputted. It's just to check for, this is just the part that checks for usage of this class in the file. And that was the only thing that I need to get rid of, the strings. So, yeah. So, for all these packaged files, we're going to check for its keyword by matching a regex again. So, and actually all we can do is, all we have to do really is file string or without quotes dot contains and then packaged file dot get name, and it's gotta have two spaces, gotta have a space before and after, like that. And then make sure that we just to keep things clear, it'll be the space character. What class name? So if it contains the class name separated by a space after we do this, then we can pretty much assume at this point. I can't think of any other example where this wouldn't be the case, unless it was part. No, yeah, no, yeah. I don't think there's any way this wouldn't be the case. So if it contains the class name in all uppercase like this, with a space before and after, we know that we're declaring a variable at some point with this, or returning this. You know, there's a lot of different cases, but in any of those cases, we'd need to import it. So it would be, if this is true, and we need to add to this imports string, and I'm not going to use a string builder, it's not going to be that many other things. We'll do string imports, and we'll have imports plus equals, and then import, and we'll end in that. So we're going to import, and then the class, sorry, the path, or the com.marcusman or whatever, and then class name. So plus package file that class name, and that. System.out.println imports. I guess we can just see how it writes it. Yeah, we can initialize it to an empty string. And we don't need to do this anymore. And we also need to put a new line character after this. So actually we'll do a string at the end here. Yeah, that's cool. So now we've got, yeah, the dot, and then we have an issue there. We have one issue, and that is that we don't want to check the if packaged file equals considered file, because the memory addresses should be the same in this case. We're going to return, or just not going to return, we're going to continue. We're going to import the file that we're currently in. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And now I'm seeing that we do need to add two new lines at the end of this package definition. At least in my case I do, which, it's fine. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's actually put everything into where it's supposed to be. And we can actually test this by going out here and compiling this like we would a package, which is just javac com/marcusman /game.java. Whoa. Maybe not. Am I doing it right? So if we're in workspace, we have com there. So in game it's saying it can't find game object. Yeah, we're not importing that one. At least it wasn't added to the imports. Ah, game object array, that's why. Haha, there's two things you have to check for. This is why you test things. So in our packageify, there's actually another thing. You could be declaring an array of those objects. So we have two checks. If I can find it. We need this. We also need without quotes dot contains that plus package file dot class name plus and then that. Just a bracket. Okay. Oops. This one. Now game should have game object. Now let's give that another try. Javac com marcusman game.java. No? So let's see another example here. Oops. So in players, which is under logic and then player, it cannot find game object. It's not importing it. Yeah, it's not importing it. Although I'm not sure. Oh, there's not a space after that. So there's another example of something we need to check. Without quotes that contains. In which case, maybe we just, honestly, I don't think it's that big a deal if we just check. Because there's a lot of different cases that I don't know how to deal with the class name, right? Because if it's part, the only case where this might import something that it's not supposed to, let's say we had like game object, right? We're importing a game object. And, normally it would be like game object equals new game object. But the only case where, what if you had like this right at the beginning of the line, like game object, right? There wouldn't be a space before, but it would still be declared. And there's a lot of different cases, a lot of random cases. So I think I'm just going to do that. Because the worst case is it imports something it doesn't necessarily have to, which I don't think is that big of a deal. And it's only in very certain cases that it happen. Go to work? Yeah. So it's a lot of some issues. Let's go ahead and clear this. So now in oh, really? Constructor rectangle in class rectangle. Must be something wrong with class rectangles. Is game used in here? Yeah, it is. Good. What does it mean the constructor can't? So if we go to game where this is happening, constructor rectangle and class rectangle cannot be applied to given types. And that is at line, we are importing rectangle. So at line 51, oh! What are these? They're supposed to be public. Where did those go? That's weird. Is that on? That is really weird. Let me go to rectangle in here and make sure that's, yeah, they're deleted. I wonder when that got deleted, that's weird. Okay, so it all works. That's cool. If I actually run it now, as well. No? Oh yeah, I don't have the, all the files copied over. So that's the last thing. I want to copy over all the files that aren't Java files over. So maybe we might as well do that as well. So copy non-Java files. Private void. Private void copy non-Java files. This is going to copy all non-Java files from the input dir to the output dir. So let's do that. Create that file array again. So we have a file array. Files equals input folder dot list files again. And then for int I equals 0, I is less than files dot length, I plus plus. File equals files I. If file dot ends with dot Java, if it does not end with that, then I want to copy it over. Maybe this will actually finally be a good usage of our that NIO files, where you can just copy it directly over using the path. So, yeah, here it is. So I'm just finding it again on my other monitor. We still have that imported? Yeah, we do, okay. We're going to do files dot copy. File dot to path. And then we want the output file, output folder, plus slash or plus file dot get name, so it's the same name. And then and then we want the Any copy option dot place existing. I'm gonna go ahead and import that. Oops, put a comma at the end. Put a semicolon. Oh, I needed a 2-path again. So we're gonna go ahead and separate. Oops. Whoa! What was that? Let Control Z is the thing. That should work. So move the thing here over here, and as you can see, all the files we need are here now. So now we can do all the compiling. We can do java c com/marcusman/game.java and java com.marcusman.game. No? Okay, so I thought I copied everything over, but apparently I didn't. Unless I was, I just loaded it from the working directory, but maybe not. So that is at load image at game.java 171. Okay, this is getting, okay, you know what? I'm not going to worry about this because it's actually just the way I'm loading it. Which we're going to talk about when we actually do this for lesson 16. We're going to talk about exactly what we're going to do with that. But we're not going to worry about that. That's just a problem with how I'm loading files, which I'm not going to deal with because I'm not. It's just to test that the packages and everything works. So yeah, that's pretty much it actually. Let's say we've added. So we've got some spaces there. We can get rid of. Slide text again. So that's at 2-path, that, and that. And then without post contains. Gives you little red dots, the red spaces. Alright, so now do we have any? What the fuck did I get rid of those? Files. Yeah, I did get rid of those. Oh yeah. I have to add it again. Then I can do it. So I'm doing a cached diff. So yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and commit saying finished Packageify. Or I guess I'll say add imports to files as needed. Origin master. Okay. So it's getting there. We're getting there now. I think I need to work on with the build. It's going to give you this jar file, but I need to make sure. Is it executable? Oops. No. I'm moving Visual Studio. I don't think it's executable. Java. Yeah, no manifest. Gradle. That's executable Java. Yes, let's go back to, let's just close everything here, and then open up our build.gradle. We can make a task here, which we'll call release jar. I'm just going to copy all this in from online. So we have all this manifest. So this is, we're going to call this package-ified to package Java files. And then inside the Gradle, first of all, Gradle run should still work. It doesn't because we have an issue. Oh, this is using like an Eclipse thing. Okay, hold on. You know what? We're just gonna do this. Just gonna do this. Jar and manifest, and then add the main class. 'Cause that's all that's really important. So now the jar file is created, we should be able to do Java jar package-ified. No? Jar maybe? Java jar package. Okay, so I guess I just have to run that jar thing. Create the jar. Alright, so that almost wraps this up. Just want to make sure Java doc still works. We have a Java doc errors. We do have a Java doc error. Warning, no app throws. Oh, we need to add app throws. Yes. Forgot about that. That might be a little bit annoying. Throws section, which could be IO exception, legal argument exception. I'm not going to worry about explaining it too much. Alright, that seems to be it. So now if we go to build, and then docs, Java doc, and go to index, here it is, and we have Packageify. And it's not showing any of the private methods, but because they're not, you can't see them from they're not public. But if we ever do make them public, they're there, and also we can, we have comments in the code that we can see. There's like I'm just googling if there's a way to do private methods. Yeah, we can. So we need to. Yeah, we can't. I'm not gonna worry about it. Or actually, Gradle. So let's go to here, add a Java doc thing. Options.member level equals Java doc member level dot level. Oops. Yes, now it's going to say that we don't have throws for all those other things. That's okay, I'll fix that quick. So you have 77 throws IL exception if what is it doing IL exception? If input file doesn't exist for copying. Actually, yeah, that wouldn't happen because we checked that earlier. Oh no, it didn't know that. Or copying goes dry. And then 95 is a warning port. Throws IO exception. There was a problem copying or reading or writing files. Copying, reading, writing, or copying files. And then finally, 165. That throws IO exception if scanner was unable, or if there is a formatting problem with the file, or a scanner error. No. Okay, so now that's all should be in there. The next thing out of that file. Projects. Build libs. Oh, sorry, build docs. Java index. Alright, so now we should have all the private methods in here. Yay! Just cause I want them. Most Java docs would not have them, but this is a smaller project, so it's okay. This is going to make jar executable and add private methods to Java doc. Just over the cap limit there. Privatize, no. Make jar executable, and add privates. Java doc. That's fine. And then we have one more thing we need to push there. Update. fix JavaDoc on private methods and rows. Okay. So now if I go to that GitHub page, Packageify. I'm going to make this load in the Gradle jar to release this. And if we go to build with libs and this should work. It's going to give us an IO exception or a legal argument exception if we don't have 3 arguments. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run it the same way I am here. I think that's how I can do this with the spaces. That's not okay. With double quotes. Let's give that a try. And the other thing I can do is just backslash the space. Okay, that looked like that worked. Maybe I should. I was thinking maybe I should add a print line if it successfully copied everything, but I'm not going to know if I did that or not. Yeah, I think I am. Okay, print line successfully package-ified files. Input files. Let's just go to Gradle build and Gradle jar again. Make sure that works. Packageify is not a word, by the way. If any of you were wondering. So yeah, now we need to it's version 1. First release. So first release of package. See, I'm actually gonna add stuff to readme after I post this. See readme.md for usage. There's like a JavaDoc post online. Yeah, I guess there is. Let's see how this looks. I'm just interested. Yeah, okay. Alright, let me do this quick. So, I want to actually host my JavaDoc on this website that hosts free open source JavaDocs. Whenever you work on an open source project, you'll realize there's a lot of useful utilities out there for just people who make open source projects. So this is Packageify. Oh, organization should be the full thing, right? It's like the whole combat, yeah. com.marcusman. I'm just going to use that as an example. I should open up another tab. Wait a second. Javadoc.io. And then TeamSpeak. Sorry, I know the yeah. Cool. And then Package-ified. Well, I guess I have to put in the com. Huh. Oh, it has to be central maven. Okay. Java doc host for creator. Do that. Java doc host for creator. Okay. Well, we didn't use Maven. I might be able to host it. Yeah. I'm gonna try something here. Wonder if I can like a github.io thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this. I'm just gonna make it so you can see readme.md for usage. I'm gonna drag this in. I'm guessing Markdown is supported. Yes. Okay, so we want to insert a Markdown link. To this. What? Ah. What? Ah. So I just switched the brackets accidentally. With parentheses. There we go. Cool. Update release. Right, so now we're going to make the readme cool. So we're just gonna make definition. Essentially copy this in. Oops. Guess I gotta commit that at some point. Get rid of all this. Boom. Markdown new line. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. Yeah, we're gonna go edit that again actually. I'll make this Java. Package-ified. And make these like that, because that's what they're not used to represent arguments. Guess I can't use those. I'll figure it out eventually. Okay, so hopefully that's fine. You know what, I'm good. It's good. So now, we can go back here, and there's actually, a release you can get. And there's a zip, and there's a source code as well. So, yeah. So I can download this now to my favorite location, the desktop. And then, I can go ahead and run this big command. Except do it over here, and it will work. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty much done with this. So, one more thing I have to do actually. Git diff cached. Yeah, what I do, I added that print line and then fixed a thing. So, print line of success. And, yeah, and print line of success. And fix. And fix comment. Okay. Oh yeah, I have to git pull first. Then do that. I made some readme changes, so. And there you have it. I wonder if I can update that release with the source that is used. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go ahead and copy what we have here, and actually delete this release and make sure, just so it has the latest source in it. So we will delete. Delete. And create a new release. So v1, the release title is initial or first package-ified release. And then we can drag in the jar file. Actually, one more thing. We'll make sure we do Gradle jar. And so on, just because I want to make sure I'm going to give it another try. And it's going to have an error, but then if I put in that whole command that I did before, oh shoot, I didn't. It's probably going to work. It's probably, you know what? It's the same thing. Publish release. I already messed up. Package-ified. And there we have it. There we have it. And then there's a tag here now for the version, which I'm going to go ahead and, yep. That's pretty much it for this, guys. Yeah, this video's gone for a while. But yeah, that's, and we made an entire, essentially did the entire software development in one thing. I mean, it's a very simple thing, and I didn't go through unit testing at all, because I just didn't want to. It's a very small utility, so I don't think I really need to. If anybody really wants me to. If anybody wants to actually make a, make your own, fork of this and then make a pull request with unit tests, that would be a good, addition to this open source project. So yeah, I guess this is my first sort of, real open source project that I've started, but it's also a really, simple one. Start simple. So yeah, if you guys ever have an idea for something that is, simple to make, maybe just a utility, or even a big, it could turn into a big project that you feel like you want to make open source so you can get multiple people to work on it over the internet, this is what you use, GitHub, and this is how you would do it. So yeah, I'm glad I got to go through this process with you guys, guys and gals. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, questions or concerns. I usually always reply to those. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.